What if I told you that you could qualify any prospect under 5 minutes and know exactly if they're going to buy or not? In this video, I'm going to give you the exact framework that helped me become the #1 Nissan salesperson in the country for 8 years, and how I put up tens of millions of dollars in high ticket revenue here at the Elliott Group. Let's go! Okay guys, listen, most salespeople, they're wasting hours with prospects. I know that you've been on a call like that and you get all the way to the end of the deal and then they're like, I'm not buying, and they have all these things that they're saying. And some of them are objections, some of them are bullshit, and then some of them you just don't understand, okay? So I'm gonna teach you in this video how you can get this right so that way you don't get it wrong and waste all your time. If you waste all your time, you're wasting your money because you can't generate more money if you don't have any time, okay? A lot of the leads that you're working on, they're gold leads, but if you know how to handle them, then you will get the gold from the leads. If you don't know how to handle them, they're fool's gold, and you'll be a fool because you won't be able to close them. Today, I'm going to teach you the 5-minute qualification framework that will save you time. It'll increase your closing rates, and it'll help you focus on prospects that actually matter. So let's get down to the qualification process so we can take your closing rates and elevate. First, here's what most salespeople do wrong. They're so desperate to make a sale that they skip the most important part, the qualification. Do you know why sales is hard for most people? Because they don't know how to qualify. You end up spending 2 hours with somebody who can't afford your product, or doesn't have decision-making authority, or isn't even serious about buying. Guys, that's amateur hour. So here's the 5-minute qualification framework. Step 1, the authority check. Write that down. First thing that you need to know, are you talking to the decision maker? Here's how you find out. Hey John, when it comes to making a decision on something like this that you're currently looking at, is it just you, or do you have a business partner or spouse or somebody who's involved in this process? You're on a Zoom, you're selling B2B. Hey Bob, thank you for coming to this meeting. Is it typically you who comes to this meeting, or how does the decisions work in your company? Is it your partner, another department? This thing is so important. It sounds so small, but it's everything in sales. Listen carefully to their answers. If they say, I need to talk to my wife or my business partner, or the business partner handles the finances, you need to get them on the call now. Don't waste time presenting to someone who can't say yes. And I see it all the time. They're like, well, I'm going to present and get them all excited. But then they go tell the business partner, and the business partner doesn't understand. If they resist getting the decision maker involved, it's a red flag. Real buyers want to include the right people from the start. Make no mistake about it, that sentence that I just said is one of the most powerful in sales. Amateurs think that they need everybody. Pros know that they need the right people. Amateurs are okay with the decision makers not showing up, and then they just chase the prospect around and all this other crap. Listen, that's not me. I'm going to make sure I got the right people from the start. The money question. Next, you need to know if they can actually afford what you're selling. Most salespeople are scared to ask about money. Don't be. You're not pulling a rabbit out of the hat. And they're like, oh, it's not going to happen like that. They know they're going to spend money. Here's how you do it. John, I want to make sure I'm showing you something that makes sense for your situation. What kind of budget have you allocated for solving this current problem? Guys, this is some of the most powerful things that you can ever do. Or try this. Typically, our clients invest anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. Does that range work for your situation? If you say this, then you're going to get them to talk, but you have to be prepared to listen. Watch their reaction. Watch if they get uncomfortable. Watch if they dodge the question. They probably can't afford it if they do. If they give you a straight answer, you're dealing with a serious prospect. A lot of the times I set that frame into the sales process, and I'll be talking to a business owner and they fly right by it because it honestly didn't matter to them. They're here to solve big problems. They're not worried about spending XYZ amount of dollars. Only the people who really can't afford it are worried about that, okay? But it also helps you qualify them around that product so that you can make sure that you're doing the best job. Remember, people who have money aren't offended when you ask about money. People that are offended when you ask about money, it's because they don't have any, okay? Now you need to understand their pain. This is where most salespeople mess up. They ask surface level questions. You gotta go deeper. And here's how you do that. What's the biggest challenge that you're currently facing in XYZ situation? Now, XYZ situation is whatever your product solves. How long has this been a problem for you? What happens if you don't solve this problem in the next 90 days? What have you tried before that didn't work? Listen for emotion in their answers. If they're not emotionally invested in solving this problem, they probably won't solve it. Pain creates urgency, and urgency creates sales. Never forget that. If they can't articulate a clear problem or the consequences of not solving it, you're probably wasting your time. Step 4, timing is everything in sales. You need to know when they're looking to make a decision. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Some people may not be looking to make the decision right now. Some people are. John, what's your timeline for getting something like this handled? When would you ideally like to have this problem solved? What's driving the urgency to solve this right now? Okay, go back, rewrite those down. If they say maybe sometime next year, they might not be qualified. Okay, if they say we're just looking around, that means they're qualified. Real prospects have time, and they're really driven by real consequences. Okay, look for answers like this. We need to solve this by the end of next quarter. Or my current situation is costing me more money every day. That's urgency, even if it's next quarter, okay? Listen, some people, you might have to build a pipeline that they might not close for, a few months. Salespeople that are real salespeople will build a pipeline around some of these things because they truly understand that that's not an objection. That could be their real thing in their financials. Finally, you need to test their commitment level. This separates the tire kickers from the real buyers. So you could say something like this to separate those tire kickers. John, if I could show you exactly how to solve this current problem that you have, XYZ, whatever it is, in a way that fits your budget and timeline, would that stop you from moving forward in any way? Like, would it stop you? This question forces them to reveal any hidden objections up front. If they start listing a bunch of concerns, you can address them right away. You can address them on the spot. And you can learn how to move with this prospect based on what they say. If they say something like nothing, as long as it makes sense, you've got a totally qualified prospect that's ready to go. And here's how you score your prospects. Authority. Do they have decision-making power? Yes. Good. We want to move forward. Can they afford your solution? Yes. Good. We want to move forward. Do they have a compelling problem? Yes. Good, let's go. So after you've done that, if you do that right, you're gonna qualify people at a whole different level and your business is gonna change forever. Trust me, there were times where I was spending all the wrong time with the wrong people. And some of the times I was making these big mistakes that I'm gonna go over here in a second, but if you can live in that first land that I'm talking about, it'll change your sales career. Here's some of the biggest mistakes I've made and I've seen salespeople make during their qualification. They're being too polite. You're not being rude by asking direct questions. You gotta get rid of that stigma. You're being professional. Everybody wants to meet an expert that's going to sit there and ask them direct questions, that's going to be inquisitive, okay? When you go into a doctor, they're not like, how much does your shoulder hurt? They're like, hey, lift your shoulder up, move it around. Does that hurt? How long does it hurt? Like, you expect that from them. They expect that, okay? Don't accept vague answers. If they say, we're looking to grow, ask, looking to grow is pretty vague. Like, what does growth look like specifically for your business? Here's another one that salespeople struggle with, skipping the money conversation. If you're uncomfortable talking about money, you just shouldn't be in sales. Talking about money should be second nature because everything evolves around that money, okay? It involves around the relationship, and then also you have to be able to make a transaction, so you gotta be good at talking about money. Third is they're not taking notes. Write down their answers. It shows that you're listening. It helps you remember key details. It helps you put it in your CRM. So when you call these people, you're remembering everything about them. But most salespeople just don't do that, including me. I didn't do that for a long time. And then lastly, they're talking too much. During qualification, they should be talking 70% of the time, and you should be talking like 30% of the time. But salespeople get that part backwards, and that ruins the sale because you end up saying some things that you don't really need to say. We want to get them talk so they can drop their guard, trust us, we truly understand what's going on, and we can authentically solve their problem. Listen, qualification isn't about being pushy or aggressive. It's about being efficient and professional. Your job should be to help people who want to be helped and can afford to be helped. When you qualify properly, you'll spend more time with serious prospects, I assure you, and less time with tire kickers, which I know you guys don't want to do. Your closing rate will go up, your income will increase, and you'll have more time with prospects that actually matter. Remember, amateurs chase everyone. Pros, they're going to attract the right people. Be a pro, be a professional. If you want more sales training like this, make sure you subscribe to the notification bell. We're dropping them every day. And if you're serious about taking your game to the next level, just text me at 480-780-2203. We can help you master not just qualification, but really every aspect of sales. Drop a comment below and tell me what's your biggest challenge that you face when qualifying a prospect. I read every comment and I'll personally respond with advice. And also, maybe drop some things that you want to see in the future videos and I'll build them around what you're needing. And remember, the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you don't want to do. Most salespeople don't want to qualify properly because it means having tough conversations. And that's exactly why it works. Most salespeople aren't going to qualify their prospects, and they're going to go around and they're shopping you and they're with order takers and they don't really like these salespeople because they're not pros. When they're in your arena, you're the pro. You're having the tough conversations. You're qualifying them correctly, and they'll respect that because it respects their time and it respects yours. Go out there, use this framework, and watch your sales numbers explode. Let's go.